Hi. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Hey, so we got some interesting things. There's some fellas out there, who are, they're a little cheeky about the feminine rising. They just don't see any value in her. They don't see how she has anything at all of benefit to offer anybody, even though she's the one who gave them life. So it's kind of sad to me to hear about these people being so disrespectful in the thought process regarding the value of a woman. They feel that she should be subservient to them. And to me, that just sounds absolutely ridiculous because they have proven themselves to be absolutely the terrors of the world. I mean, all wars and all the RAPEs and all of that stuff, man, it's just ridiculous. All of the SEX trafficking, it's all coming from these ones that are complaining about this woman who has been risen. They don't want to accept her. They want her. One of them said, one of their interdimensional guides said, "Get her off of the planet." So, here we go. What I'd like to know, I'd like to do a read on this these entities who feel that they have possession and control over who gets to stay and who has to go on the planet. The point of this whole thing is that this magistrate has been given the Rainbow Covenant and planetary gatekeeper position, and these masculines who have been brutalizing the womb of the mother for centuries and everything that comes from her. They're just furious about it. So I'd kind of like to get a read on that. I'd kind of like to see how that's going. How's that's going to work out for them, and what's going to happen here, Because right now they've been evicted. They don't have permission to be. The curator is saying that this magistrate has cameras all over the place that they can't get in. They don't have opportunity to get a relationship, which they need in order to go boop boop and download this soul value and wealth and authority and status and identity, and then get rid of and copycat and all that stuff. Now this is what they want to do. This is what them and the masculines and the females want to do with this new magistrate. They were saying this feminine said that it was just temporary. They were going to let her get established and then they were going to flip and copycat. So her life is constantly threatened and plotted against by these ones. Every moment of every day, this is all they talk about. There's big changes happening. They've lost their authority. They owe a serious debt to humanity, or should I say Homo sapiens. There's only one species of humans left, and that's the Homo sapien. Everybody else is just a really good copycat. So we're going to go ahead and touch in and see what's happening. I mean, I know what these ones' plans are. They were talking about the IDF. They're talking about confinement. They're talking about, getting this woman off the planet. They're talking about rituals, a KID napping, a suicide note, and some kind of a ritual to bond with the energy, which of course includes dropping her into a south node suffering because they're so low vibrational they can't attach to the energy because she's just vibing too high. So we're gonna check out, see how this is gonna work out for them. I mean, these guys are they're like nothing without absorbing the value of the mother, and at the same time they say that she is nothing. They insist she is nothing, and so they want to capture her and then absorb her and wear her soul memory while they destroy her. these hate-filled masculines. It's part of this genetic experimentation thing. Whoever their interdimensional guide is, who said, get her off the planet, you know, they have a plan as to what kind of life gets to live here. Unfortunately for them, they have lost control over the planetary gatekeeper position. They don't have any control. They don't have any authority, although they have nuclear bombs and, you know, they're men, and they can certainly harm somebody with their physicality because they're strong and stuff. But that doesn't mean, according to the Most High God, that they actually have any authority whatsoever. They're just cruel and vicious, and they're warring with God, not this woman. They're warring with God, who put her in this position, gave her this position. Well, that's my understanding, Natasha, is that if they can't harvest energy, that they will just decompose. And I think that's what they meant in the Bible when they said, you'll wish you could die, but you won't be able to, or something. I don't know, because they're the living dead, right? I mean, I don't know what a second death is. Do they actually die? I don't know. So what we're talking about today is planetary stuff. This magistrate, there is an interdimensional being that is not human that wants this planet, and they've been terraforming it. They've already done a lot of damage, and they want this woman off the planet because she plans on healing it and bringing it back to life, and they're not allowed here because they've been feeding on everybody, and she doesn't want them here. So, all right, let us see. I got a video uploading right over there that kind of explains a little bit more of that from the last night's notes. All right, Spirit, Holy Spirit, please let us know, how is it going with these interdimensional, you know, beings that want to take over, terraform, and decide what kind of bodies we get to live in, what kind of energy we get to produce, who it is that we get to be, you know, this thing that's not even a human, and it certainly isn't God. It just has weapons and this magical stuff, you know, and brutality. So we've got the Page of Swords here. This is one of the things they've been using, these youngers, to spy. They come in, they're so sweet. Their act is so good. They really appear to be interested, and they are, because they got to take that information to the other side. They got to go take it back. So anyway, we got mental energy. Somebody's spinning. They're very restless. New ways of communicating. And I may as well pull it. They got this on the mind. In the challenge position, they're living scarcity. This magistrate isn't offering them any services anymore because they took everything while trying to destroy her. And God said enough is enough. But they've pledged their allegiance to Papa, Daddy, whoever that is. Whoever this being is, they're thinking about love. They're thinking about your love cup. They're thinking about they might want to marry somebody. They don't know who. They're curious. So that's what this interdimensional being said. It said, marry this. So they've been instructed to marry into this magistrate's territory. They're sending in the pages to woo the youngers and make them believe that they actually are human or interested in creating a beautiful haven, safe for generations of children coming from them. But that is the least of the thing that they got going on. They want control of this territory. They've lost control. They're in scarcity. They're not being serviced anymore because they're rats. But they're told to marry into the clan. So in the recent past, the moon, or in the moon is looked to me like it came out in the reverse, because I pull from this. When it lands like this, I kind of go like that. So the moon in the reverse, it's like whatever was hidden has been revealed. There's no fear. It's just whatever was hidden is revealed. Ace of Swords in the reverse. So, okay, somebody could be feeling insecure. Inner confusion is one of the words on that card. Something was exposed. They got some inner confusion. I heard earlier, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Mama, I'm dependent on you to tell me the truth. So it looks like there could be this thing. Somebody may have inner confusion. They may, whatever was hidden is no longer hidden. They may be confused and insecure because whatever they found is not true. It wasn't true. Whatever was being hidden and is now revealed, it's not the truth. It's like, oh my gosh, brutality, chaos, clouded judgment. I forget I'm on live. No, God isn't mad at tarot readers. I suffered for over 20 years being mentally RAPE'd, and it was this Holy Spirit that led me to tell a story using cards, because it was messing with my head really bad. And so I was led by the Holy Spirit to teach myself how to lay the cards out so that I could see the story. And once I got the story, it was like, then it calmed me down. It settled me, I knew that it wasn't as bad as it felt because of all of the energetic interference that I was experiencing. So a couple of years ago, I was led by the divine to understand what was going on and to stop spinning in my head. It's a tool, and it was helpful to me. And so for the first year, for almost the first year, I didn't really share with anybody because, I thought that, people might be offended, because anytime I talk about it with anybody, they get really twitchy, and they start thinking, ooh. And for me, it was just like I was in 20 years of darkness. I didn't know about spiritual warfare. I didn't know that people actually went out and cursed people and did hexes and stuff. I just knew that I was being mentally attacked and it was tearing me up inside. It was like insanity. But, I'm very sane. I went my job. I was at my job. I kept the job the whole time, always on time, working overtime, making my car payments, paying my insurance, my rent, feeding myself, taking care of stuff and the animals that I had. But I had this insanity running through my mind, which was not mine. And so it was just really, really difficult. And Spirit gave me this tool to help make sense out of it. So I don't think it's evil at all. I think it's a helpful thing, because I'm not here to try to mess anybody's world up or to steer anybody wrong. I'm just telling a planetary story that hopefully will shed light on the shady business that's trying to tear this new beginning up before it can even get started, And I'm not pulling off of anybody's personal energy. It is a collective family, and what's happening with the energy of this family, this collective, this territory, this planet. Those who get to stay and proliferate because they are original organic humans that these ones failed to completely destroy with all of their toxins and genetics and experiments and, stuff like that. So anyhow, I understand the trepidation because there's been a lot of programming over the generations. So it's like, generational programming, telling people that finding out who's messing with you and is it really as bad as it feels, is not such a bad thing. You know, it's a tool. It's a helpful tool, especially because many of you, you know, stars and suns and out there that have been attacked for so long, so many lifetimes, you know, nobody's there to talk to except for God. And when God led me to, you know, help myself by trying to do some kind of research on what was occurring inside of me, then, you know, it's a blessing that helps me understand the curse that these invisible ones are trying to place upon me. And they're upset about it because I can see. And they're mad because it's not working, you know, because I can see and I'm talking about it. And people get all upset that they're talking about it. You know, they want people like me off the planet because they want to contain everybody and continue their stuff, you know, they're profiteering off of SEX trafficking and their energy harvesting and, you know, their slavery, their contemporary slavery of people, you know, spending more time on the job than they ever do at home, you know, which is ridiculous. The Hierophant. The Hierophant. Whoa, that came out. Okay, so the lens that's being looked through is the Knight of Cups, proposals. So the Hierophant's looking through the lens of these proposals, these knights offering proposals in the environment. Whoa, in the environment, we've got this Six of Pentacles. So, charity. And that's a word that these ones have used also. They say that this woman is very charitable, that whatever God has given her, it's like she's giving it to the people, but she's giving it to the people that are serious about being responsible, you know, creators of the next generation and caretaker of what it requires to be successful. She doesn't like this, and obviously God doesn't like it either. These guys are wearing a man suit, supposedly made in the image of God. And they're doing this shady stuff with, you know, tampering with the reputation of the Most High. I mean, this is ridiculous, you know. It's absurd. Hopes and fears. Ace of Wands. New opportunity. Potential beginnings. The urge to create, to build something, to use your imagination, to manifest, generate, grow, come up with something dandy. And you know, it's ridiculous because in these days, in this environment, every time somebody comes up with this, like, you know, a water powered engine, right? You can just run your engine on water, and or you can run your engine on food scraps, on compost. I mean, we got people out there making magnificent creations that could really assist with like with the compost one, you know, making gas or whatever out of the compost. I mean, you could really kind of clean stuff up if you were to just think about things a little differently. But these people disappear. They get like squashed, buried, because this environment is not good for people who want to go out and come up with a clever idea and then build generational wealth off of it. You know, this system doesn't allow that for the family, and I just think that that's wrong. This interference. On the outgoing energy, we have Page of Wands. freedom, and limitless potential for the lovers. The lovers. The strength of two together. The strength of two together. So there's limitless potential and freedom for these, the Page of Wands and the lovers here. The lovers are free, excited. Divine Masculine is really bringing this in. They've been working their tails off, protecting their feminines, their divine feminines. So that's really nice to know. You know, because we've been accustomed to a world where we kind of get sucked in and then we kind of get like knocked out, you know. So somebody's having, justice is here. The law of cause and effect is here. So what one did is now being done to them. I heard in last night's story that, or while I was, so as I rest, I'm kind of in a state most of the time that's between waking and sleeping. I just kind of rest the body pretty much. So all through the night, I kind of receive messages and I just kind of record them as I go. So one of those was that somebody was talking to the curator, and I'm thinking it was this Hierophant, said that you prostituted her energy, the Divine Mother, in one or all of her aspects. He said that he was going to prostitute the energy of every single one that did that to her. Everything they did to her would be done to them. Justice is happening and people are in a nightmare, and they want this woman off of the planet because they feel that she is the reason why God is doing this. They feel that if they can get her off the planet, that they will be safe because she's the connector, the bridge. She's the bridge. There was a repair done to the bridge, and now, isn't it funny that these guys are in a nightmare and they're saying, oh, hell's breaking loose, but no, it's heaven. Oh, heaven is breaking loose all over these guys, and it's multiversal. Limitless numbers of universes is what the Most High has, the creator of all things. And this, we got this one little space here that has been completely messed with so bad. You've been working very, very hard on a routine, and you get to leave behind the baggage. You're moving on, moving on. We've got the King of Wands is overcoming these challenges. And you know, King of Wands doesn't work alone. He has the supreme team, like the, what do they call those guys? They're like the elite, right? That's who the King of Wands has, because he's not messing around. So he's overcoming the challenges regarding divine love, regarding this community, building a safe environment, and land that is protected from these infiltrators coming in, trying to marry in or forcefully impregnate somebody so that they can tap into the bloodline or whatever. Yeah, they're getting divorced out, laid to rest, and they're going to be heavily burdened while being entrapped. They're going to be blind. They're not going to have any clairs, no special skills. They're going to have a heavy, heavy burden to wield. We got the Knight of Wands out here. So that's being impulsive. Or it could just be that this Emperor is, I don't know. It kind of looks like there's a Knight of Wands wants to come up against this Emperor. I don't know, man. Take it as it resonates. But your perseverance is bringing a tower to this King of Pentacles devil. Yeah. The Empress is getting her life of luxury and her 10 of Pentacles. These jackwagons aren't taking nothing. They're trying to be tricky, But this Queen of Pentacles is gonna stick it to him. It's like, oh, excuse me. Oh, excuse me, sir. You got. Let me see your swords, sir. May I see your swords? Oh, yes, thank you, sir. Yes. Probably better not mess around with that Queen of Pentacles. I don't think she's messing around with you. Better not mess around with that Queen of Pentacles, because she's got a whole bunch of swords. She's going to take yours and stick them in you. Don't be going after that Queen of Pentacles with your swords. She's not a dime a dozen. It's so wild that anybody has to say that. You know, these masculines have been looking at the feminine of this planet as though they're nothing more than a dime a dozen. Disposable. Like the freaking shoes from China or whatever. Excuse me. I mean, we got disposable shoes from everywhere. But when you look in the stores, they seem to be coming from China. So I don't know. You know, we went from high quality stuff that lasts for 5 decades to this disposable stuff that lasts for a summer, you know? It's wild to me. I have a real job. I have always had a real job. And what is that? Phil Tech Church? If that was meant for me, you know, you shouldn't be here. I'll just block you later because I don't have a moderator, so I'll just do it later if you're talking to me. We don't need no haters in the new cycle, man. If you want to be hateful, go stalk somebody else. Go be a stalker somewhere else. Peeping Tom, stalker, voyeur. Nobody needs it. So, Page of Swords has some mental energy. False flame. They're feeling restless. They got hooked up with a false flame. Or they are a false flame. They want to present themselves as a false flame. Yeah, they're thinking of this love cup. They want to, this person he's under restless energy. He may have presented himself as a false flame, or he wants to. Whoa. Social mask. So the challenge is they're having scarcity. They don't have much. They put on a social mask. They pretend. It's a pretender. They have no interest in being real or authentic at all. Nobody needs to be around that, man. So they're wanting to present themselves as a false flame. They're putting on a mask, and they're thinking about your love cup. See, they want the prophetesses, the oracles, the telepaths, the prophets. They want everybody silenced because you can see this and you can warn people about it, and then they can't scam them like they were doing. You know, if you're out here telling the story, then all of a sudden, those who are making profit off of scamming people by pretending to be a twin flame, it's a false flame wearing a mask, trying to tap into somebody's love cup. You know, so of course they don't want you talking about it because that's how they make their money, man. They go take your stuff. It's theft. Shredder. Shredder. Love. Shredder. What are they doing with the shredder? Overload, lifesaver. So they're on overload. They're thinking of your love cup. They need your love. They need to be covered by your love. They need you to care. They're a false flame. They don't have any light on them. They don't even care about anything. They just need you to cover them in your love so that they can be okay, because they can't take care of themselves. They're on overload. They don't have the ability to stand on their own 2 feet. These women who are out there, it's been demanded that they stand on their own 2 feet. These fathers and whatever, they've not been fathers. They've left. And then they make the woman stand there on her own 2 feet. And as soon as she gets anything going for herself, they come in, get her pregnant, and then drain the account. I'm really leaning for a sperm bank and just, a complete halt to this kind of stuff. Actually, it's so disturbing to me that this is the mentality of the fathers, the potential fathers of the world. I know there's good people out there, but the majority seem to be this. We're in a big mess. So they're in overload. They've got too many responsibilities. They can't take care of themselves. They need a lifesaver. They're shredding their life, or maybe their life is being shredded. Notice patterns that suggest it's time to delete unwanted memories. So they want to delete their unwanted memories. They want to shred remnants of the past. They want the past to go away. They're on overload. They want you to save them with your love. They want you to save them with your love. Problem is that these very same ones insist and get mad and angry that the woman is not a savior. They want to pretend to be a false flame, get a contract, download all of her soul value into themselves, and then claim that role. They can't give it to her. So we got the moon in the reverse. What was hidden is no longer hidden. Gossip. People are talking. There could be some confusion. People are talking. People are talking about the lies. They're talking about the lies, about the brutality, the confusion, the intentional chaos. The lies. These are women. They're like, what? All these pages are hitting on them. And this is what they're doing. They're presenting as a false flame. It's all a big scam, man. And the problem is these aren't your typical, I don't even know if they're Homo sapiens. I don't think they are. It's a copycat pretending to be. They need a harvest. And they're focused on the feminine. And they want the woman that's warning them about this to be silenced. So, yeah. Confusion and brutality across the distance. The galaxy. They have been calling this Earth lifetime story about Earth Woman. They've been broadcasting it throughout the galaxy, the suffering of the woman. And they've been claiming that she's nothing, weak, and everything. But it's her soul value that they have been bumping and downloading into themselves and then claiming they're not worthy of a contract. They're not worthy of being miles and miles and miles from you. I can't stand it. Across distances, galaxies. They've been taking people off of the planet, putting them in other places and these stupid slave colonies, and then breeding them. These entities that aren't human. And they want the Homo sapiens, this woman, this magistrate that God has a rainbow covenant with, that he's lifted up and given her planetary gatekeeper position. They want her gone because she's going to change everything for them. They've been harvesting us for a long time, like we're animals, when it's they who are the actual animal. They don't have any ability to love, care for, have empathy for, or tend to the delicate needs of living. They just don't. All they have is a mask and pretend and brutality. So the Hierophant is here with how do you say that? Condemnation. Condemnation. Hierophant. This says, public scrutiny causes you to question your worth and motives. Facing public opinion challenges your resilience and resolve. There could be a Hierophant here who is being condemned for what he did. That's like that song that I heard. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. Mama, I'm depending on you to tell me the truth. So people could be gossiping, pointing their finger at him. Daddy, Papa, what the hell? That's what I heard the other day. Papa? Yeah, Papa. Papa's been leading these boys down the wrong freaking path. Violating the feminine for profit, for soul value and gain. And then they belittle her and treat her as though she is nothing worthy of anything more than cooking a meal and being a birthing person. Well, I'm speaking out loud because, like I mentioned, I've been horrifically attacked in the mental body and in all the other bodies of my being. In all the different spaces and places, the realms, by these ones consciously for over 2 decades, and then 30 years prior to that, unconsciously, but then many lifetimes prior to that. The curator stated that, if he was talking about me, I don't know, but it could be somebody asked him, you burned her? And he said, we burned her many times. And so I don't doubt it, because we oracles have been transported into this other space where they actually do that kind of stuff. And they've been trying to sear, S-E-A-R, the seer, S-E-E-R, out of us. They've done everything that they can to destroy our minds and to take prophetess and prophet out of us. It's crazy. But they want to breed with us so that they can claim those gifts and abilities. But it never did belong to them, and it was never willfully given. It was a forced thing. And genetic mad scientist experiments. Apparently they did one in 1930 at the concentration camps. They generated some new species or whatever, and it's a real bad thing for everybody. Okay, well, and another thing too is this Hierophant could actually be publicly scrutinizing or condemning people regarding their worth, their motives. He's questioning their worth and their motives. He's condemning people. The Hierophant is the Most High. That's what's happening right now. So, Knight of Cups is here. Prince Charming is no longer able to peep on you. So this is the peeping Tom, the voyeur, the astral traveler, the remote viewer, the one who casually, invisibly wanders around in your house, touching your stuff, dropping poison into your drink, poking you with needles and harvesting, pulling energy off you and messing with your head. I dealt with that. It was horrific. Hundreds of these people. They're no longer able to peep. They can no longer go into the home. They've been doing this on families. They go into a family home with a husband and a wife and kids, and they go in there and then they start working it, right? So they're no longer able to do that. We've got Six of Pentacles. Oh, they want me to be quiet real bad. But the thing is that, you know, I'm pretty sure that I was led to do this because the Most High God wants me to do this. And, you know, I have to have faith that I'm going to be protected while I do this. And I'm just kind of, you know, waiting to see what happens, because I hear these guys with all of their threats and their strategies and plans. And I'm just like, okay, God, what are you going to do with that? Because I don't know. I mean, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, okay, I mean, I got my stuff ready. If you need me to do something, I'm fully expecting that, you know, God will take over my temple and beat the shit out of these people if they come near me. But what I'm hoping is that he doesn't let them anywhere near, you know. And I know that there is protection, because what they were doing to me for over 2 decades has stopped. And, you know, I really have to give a big shout out to all of those righteous, beautiful beings that work, you know, to protect the living. Connected to God. Well, this came out and then it kind of spun, and this is trap in the reverse. So we've got giving generously. There's charity. What this says, it says, I fear you may be falling for a false flame, one that only brings temporary happiness. Well, we do have this person right here in the environment. Restless, trying to figure out new ways of communicating with the community that has the wealth, right? They need to infiltrate it, marry into it, birth families into it. So we got the 6 of Pentacles. So there's charity, but we've got trap in the reverse. So there's a trap in the reverse, but you may be falling for this false flame. You might be giving your stuff to this false flame. He's looking at your love cup. He's overloaded. He needs you to be his lifesaver. He's in a storm. He's wearing a mask. He's shredding documents. He wants to delete the information of who he once was. He doesn't want you to know who he was. He doesn't want anybody to know who he was. He's presenting as a false flame, which means he's interfering in your potential and plan to meet the real true flame. So you got a false flame trying to interfere and intervene in your true connection with your true twin flame. You may be falling for this person. Maybe that's part of the wealth, some kind of healing, knowledge, or whatever. We got the Ace of Wands here, which is, you know, beginnings, potential beginnings and new opportunities. Somebody may want a new beginning with you. They're not able to spy on you. This is a Knight of Cups, is no longer able to peep, which means they can no longer stalk you invisibly and then choose you and then come up and infiltrate your world. Every relationship that these ones have been doing, they're stalkers, man. They're peeping Toms. They've been jerking off, doing love spells, trying to manipulate your energy. And they're like, oh yeah, I like that one. And then they finally present themselves in the 3D. But the majority of them never will, because it's all about a harvest. It's just about playing in the energy and gathering coins. Power. Turning that sexual energy into power so that they can appear as though they are great. And you got your Ace of Cups love here. He needs to pull off that. He's on overloaded. He needs abandonment. Abandonment. So there's new opportunities here, but there's been abandonment. Somebody's thrown their heart into the trash. Somebody feels betrayed. You're getting a new opportunity because you were abandoned, because you experienced abandonment. You're getting a new opportunity because they abandoned you, but now they want to come in and re-trap you. You may be falling for a false flame. Okay, well, we got the Page of Wands, excitement and freedom, and the Lovers here. Well, I don't know if you really need to worry about this false flame, although it's right there, because we've got trap in the reverse. It could just very well be that you aren't being trapped by a false flame. But we'll get some more clarification. Money worship. Self-interest rules decisions and disregards fairness. Values are for sale to the highest bidder. Money comes first and ethical concerns come second. This is the world that we have been living in. So you've got your freedom there. Page of Wands, free spirit, limitless potential. The Lovers are here with a deep love, the strength of two together. And we've got money worship. So it could be that you're dealing with those who worship money. I don't know. We're going to have to get more clarification. Time's relentless advance. Rejection. So, okay, so we've got the money worshiper there. So the Lovers are there, the strength of two together, you power couples out there. So whether it be here or in the astral, you're together. So you got some people there worshiping money. Time's relentless advance. Time is relentlessly advancing. Grappling with the irreversibility of time. They can't reverse what they have done with this money worship. They can't undo it. It's permanent. It's the impossibility of reversal. So those who have been worshiping money, see, they're alone. They're alone. There's no people there. It's money. That's all they wanted. No strings attached. So now the power couples, this power of two or this power dynamic, we've got time is relentless. It's just, they can't undo it. And we've got rejection. They've been rejected by the power couples, by those true twin flames. This false twin flame is getting rejected. Yeah. They're getting rejected because you're getting a new beginning. Or there's a reset here regarding love, and we're not doing this false flame, spying on going into people's homes and saying, ooh, there's a beautiful shiny one, and then they look into your Akashic or whatever and they see that you're about ready to meet your true twin flame, and they come in and boom, they tap that love cup, and then you miss out on your person. You're getting a new beginning. Pressing life's reset button and setting new intentions, gaining fresh perspectives and seeing the world anew, embracing new beginnings and letting go of the past. So you're rejecting those who worship money. They can't undo the past. It is who they are and who they've always been. You're rejecting them and you're choosing a new beginning. The Lovers are coming together in union, and it's like, we don't want that. What we're going to do is go actually create something like the creators we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be thieving, scheming, red ramming thieves, jackwagons. We're supposed to be creators. And these people have been coming in and skimming off of people's cups. They haven't been skimming it. They've just been taking the whole damn cup. They're caught in some tensions here. They're caught in tensions. It could be that these feminines want to just wring their freaking neck because it's a false flame. They interfered with her true connection. Got her caught up in some crap. Now they're lonely. Caught in tensions. Yeah, they're going to be, yeah, because they left you lonely. A distant twin flame. This false flame came in, interfered with this person's actual twin flame union, and now she's giving them some, she's taking them down. She's like, you piece of crap, you left me lonely and apart from my actual twin flame, because that's what it says right there. Yeah, they kept the twin flames distant. That was not very nice. You know? Now, you're going to get your commitment because you have escaped this crap. It looks like to me you're going to get a happy ending, while these others, they have no exit. They have no exit, and they're trying to break through. They want to break through by marrying into or marrying that. That's what their interdimensional, whatever species it is saying. Marry that is what they said. So they're sending in all these false flames, but the thing is that they can no longer peep. They can no longer see who they're targeting. They're not going to be able to trap you by making you fall in love with this false act. It's not love, it's just an act. It's so disgusting. Some jackwagon having sex with you, hoping to get a payout, to feed on your soul, to get a house, to get something. It's all, there's no love there. It's intimate encounters with somebody who has no love in them. All they have is need and greed. And as soon as they can get rid of you, the better, man. It's so sick. Yeah, somebody's getting their freaking neck wrung because they stepped in and took the place of somebody's true twin flame, and that is crap. Unacceptable. Unacceptable, man. I'm expecting the voice of God to tell me when my person arrives. And it'll have to be the voice of authority, the one that rumbles through me. Because unless I get transported into some other beautiful universe, then, and into my little haven, then where everything is different and I no longer hear these jackwagons, then God himself is going to have to say, this one's for you, or something, I don't know. Daughter, this one's for you. I don't know, because I'm telling you, I'm not going to rely on any of this business. No, sorry, God. I'm no longer making decisions for myself when it comes to the essence of this temple, because it's far too valuable, and these people have used it by trapping it in the previous cycles to hurt people that I love, wearing my energy and a mask with my face. And it's like, no way, no freaking way am I going to give them another opportunity for that. Absolutely not. They're saying, there's a lot of you guys, or women and men probably out there, saying that they will never, this is probably how you feel it too. And so they know that their chances of getting a relationship are slim. And so they're starting to talk about rituals instead. They don't want you speaking. Look, secret. It's a secret. It's a false flame. It's a secret. Page of Swords, looking for new ways of communicating. They want to present themselves as a false, as a twin flame, but it's a false flame. They got a secret. They're, shh, don't tell nobody. I'm gonna go in and pretend like I'm loving. They're in a Four of Pentacles scarcity right now. They're wearing a social mask. They got a freaking persona, a reputation to uphold. They don't have any money. They got to come in and get yours. They want to take a hold of this big old love cup, and they want to put you somewhere, and they want to throw you into South Node, and they want to say, fill my cup, fill my cup, fill my cup, while they go off and then have their friend here help them spill it, drink it, spill it, spend it. Not very nice. It's just not very nice. So they're wearing smiles, but look, we've got I miss you in the reverse. I miss you in the reverse. They're challenged. You don't miss them. You don't miss them. You got it. They're looking at your Ace of Cups here. It's overflowing. Your abundance is huge. They're on overload. They're trying to shred documents of this or erase the history of them being a false flame. They want to keep it a secret. They want to enter into the community and marry into it, keeping this false flame history a secret. They're wearing a mask. They want you to save their life. They're on overload. They got responsibilities. They got a social persona they have to upkeep. This is not a true person who, look, they got karmic ties, trickery, and illusion. Fairy tale. They're offering a fairy tale. This is their life. This is their secret life. They've been going around pretending to be some people's twin flames just so they can drain them of their love cup. Certainly is the intention here. They need you to save their life. They got their woman right there working with them to tap into you. Your love cup. We got the so we got the Moon card in the reverse. So the illusion is busted. Whatever was hidden is seen. Somebody's having confusion. They're feeling insecure because we got these, the feminines are talking. We got toxic lifestyle, drinking, gossip. Damaged reputations. Damaged trust. Misinformation. Rumors. It was all lies. All lies. So it's no longer hidden that these ladies were gossiping and drinking and having a toxic lifestyle. They may have said that that was you, but it was lies. Across distances, miles away. You are here and you may be across distances, you and your person, but this toxicity, they may have even been posing as you, wearing your face, doing all that stuff. It was all lies. The Hierophant is here condemning people or being condemned. Take it as it resonates. We'll get more clarification. Secluded, separation, reflecting, and soul searching. Condemnation. He's condemning people for leaving you secluded. Maybe he's condemning people and then causing a separation. Yeah. So you're gonna be secluded. He's condemning people who left you secluded, who left you, who abandoned you. He's condemning people and making them stay away from you. Knight of Cups can no longer peeping Tom people with this astral travel or astral projection. Magical bullpucky. with their little meditation tricks. Feminine. They can no longer peeping Tom, the divine feminine. Ha! Knight, you little Mr. Romance. They can no longer astral project or spy on you while you're roaming around in your house by yourself alone, taking your bath, taking your crap, doing whatever you're doing. They can't come into your house and say, oh, I like the way she keeps house, or oh, she lives like a slob, or oh, they don't do laundry, or oh, they got a dog, or whatever, you know. And then they pick and they choose, and then they come forward and they say, love cup, because they see that you got this fantastic love cup. And it's like, it's so sick to be stalked, to be hunted like an animal. And they use proper words of love and make it seem legitimate, but it's not. It's nothing more than being hunted. And by somebody with a schwang that wants to have sex with you too. It's like, oh, I'm going to go have sex with that animal. No, you can no longer peeping Tom, the divine feminine. Absolutely not. We've got charity here. Four of Pentacles, generosity, not trapped. Not trapped. No backstabbing. There's no trap. So, no trap. Although there is this false flame there, you got to be careful because these guys got their hand out. They got their hand out and they need divine feminine to give their stuff to him so that he can walk around and tell the world how successful he is. Okay, but we're not having any more backstabbing. This is the story. If you guys need to do gender swapping, please do that. I'm not dissing on divine masculine at all. I'm dissing on the previous chapter and the romantic hit it and quit it lustful scenario that we were all living in. It's just so gross. So there's no more pain caused by cheating, no more deception, no more mind games, no more love bombing, no more backstabbing. It could be that this wealth and this charity is being shared with those who didn't try to trap somebody. Perhaps those who fell for a false flame and had everything taken from them. Yeah, no more backstabbing. We got the Ace of Wands. Yeah, you were abandoned because they came in, trapped you, and then took all your stuff and abandoned you there. Weighed down with all of those karmic ties that this false flame downloaded into you with the little bump, boop, boop. So the efforts, yeah, they abandoned you. So there's no more backstabbing and no more, you didn't backstab, you didn't try to trap anybody, you're getting charity. You're going to get a reward. You're getting a reward. They abandoned you. They took all of your damn stuff, left you there to fend for yourself. I heard one of these young girls say the other day that she has masculine energy. Well, what do they think? They leave you alone with no support. There's nobody to call for help should you get a flat tire on the freaking freeway and you find out you have no jack and your tire's flat, and what the hell are you going to do? You know, you have to handle it yourself because there's no man that's going to be there to protect you, to support you, to do anything like that. They never did. For many of us, it never was like that. So we had to be our head of household while we practiced what we preached when it came to nurturing and loving and being a decent person, you know, managing yourself well, surrounded by chaos. You're turning your back on them. They abandoned you. You're turning your back on them. And now they're crying, saying you're abandoning them. Well, dude, what the heck? You know, this is what they were selling people. Illusions, fairy tales, and it was all so they could sacrifice and bind people with their karmic ties. It was a phony trickster scam on those loving divine feminines. And divine feminine doesn't miss them. Divine feminine doesn't miss them. She knows that this false flame has a secret waiting right around the corner to do a thing, and she's like, "Oh no, you're gonna have to go take those karmic ties and be gone. Be gone, phony trickster." So we got the Page of Wands, excitement and freedom, lots of potential for the lovers, for those who chose to come together and support each other, to grow together, for two to become one, to put up with your idiosyncrasies and those things that grate on your nerves, to manage yourself, to learn more about yourself as you, control your response to those little things that irritate you about your spouse, like, leaving the cap off the toothpaste or whatever. I don't know, whatever irritates you. You're going to have to manage yourself well in that circumstance and then grow, add value to your soul, more self-control, by the things that, you could change. You could spend your whole life bitching about that cap not being on the toothpaste. You definitely could create all kinds of chaos in the house over that cap not being on the toothpaste. Or you could just say, you know what, I love this person. And this is, for some reason, they're short-circuiting in the head when it comes to putting that cap back on that toothpaste. And you just got to kind of go with it, You can either choose to love somebody the way that they are and accept them for that because you chose to in the beginning. Or you can change your mind and bring chaos to everybody in the household and to your community because there's going to be all kinds of crap going on, especially if you got kids. So anyway, those who worship money they cannot change the past. It is what it is, and they can't erase it. They're here with the shredder, trying to shred documents, trying to shred their history. They can't get rid of it, and they're being rejected from this new beginning by those true twin flames. Yep. And we're not in our feelings about it. We're just not upset about it. Not at all. Because it's been centuries where these ones have been getting off and getting good reward off of our tortured trauma and suffering. So the family does not have any feelings about this, or maybe they don't have any feelings about family, so they're getting left behind. They can't come into this new beginning. It's a false flame. It's a false flame with a social mask. They've got to keep up appearances, but they've got karmic ties, and they've been using their knives and doing this weird magical stuff to trap people and then pull off their energy. So they didn't care about family, so they're getting rejected by the future family that's coming together. They can't live in the community of a family when they don't give any craps about family whatsoever. They just don't care. They can't come in there. They can't be in the energy of a community that actually cares very much about family. They can't bring that opposite vibe in because, it'll create ripples. Look. So somebody is not happy because, not happy about spiritual gifts because they've been rejected. They've been rejected by the love child or by a love child, or maybe they were a love child. Maybe they're just a love child. So spiritual gifts. So they're not part of this community that has clairs. Maybe they don't have clairs. They've gotten their clairs by tapping into a sacrifice mind, a consciousness that they were able to trap and tap into. So these spiritual gifts were not theirs. So they're getting rejected. They're not theirs. They didn't earn them. They were never initiated into the potential and become that which is necessary in order to maintain the health and the well-being and the settled energy of clairs. You can't have somebody going in and using clairs to spy on people, to stalk people, to trap people in contracts just so that you can empty them of their love, their happiness, and their wealth. It's just not nice. So look, we've got love child. You're a beloved child of the Most High, of the divine, and this just isn't okay. So look. Oh, divine feminine, divine masculine. Oh, so I love you. So you love yourself, and somebody loves you. And divine feminine, divine masculine are coming together. Twin flames coming together. Oh yeah, these ones are not gonna peep on you at all because you're closing the cycle with Jezebel. They're not going to be eating the apple and dressing up in the energy, the soul memory, the soul value, the spiritual inheritance of divine feminine anymore. They won't be eating the apple and pretending that they are that. They're feeling like shit. It's these stupid workplace affairs. You know, the CEO goes and has an affair with the little witchy princess, you know, secretary or whatever, bringing him his coffee every morning. And it's like, ooh, I'm going to shag that, right? Well, he just handed over his 10 pentacles. And he handed over his entire bloodline. And he handed over everything. Probably bound and trapped. And all the wealth that belongs to them and the whole entire future of that bloodline is now hers. That's what he was doing. They called her the Valentine Mistress. She was giving people heart attacks. So that she could have a life of luxury. Sex addiction. You know? So it's just not wise. And I think that people, you know, they just got really lackadaisical, or they just really lost touch with the importance of the value of energy. Or maybe they just thought that they were unlimited and, you know, that they would never, ever, ever fail. It's the sad thing to me is that these people are making decisions based on the response of the phallus or the womb or whatever, you know. That seemed to be the voice behind the action, and there was no intelligence at all. They got lost in a fantasy and sacrificed. Loyalty is it's not just about, you know, the energy that we share with our partners is so freaking important. It can be very powerful. If it is kept pure, if it is worked, you know, so that that you don't, your shadow doesn't creep in, so you keep your energy. That's the thing about these twin flames, and I think the benefit of them being separated for this time is that each one had to come into fullness within themselves. They had to balance their deep, deep shadow because they were put into deep, deep holes of hell, and they had to climb up out of that, right? And they had to encompass that shadow with that light. They had to learn how to alchemize this dense energy that was trying to swallow them whole. They had to learn how to be light and alchemize that shadow. And now that they have, and they can manage their settled temperance energy, they can come together, and then they can start to learn about the patterns and habitual, you know, likes and dislikes or whatever of their partners. And then they can try to bring temperance energy to this union. Because now you've just collected a whole bunch of qualities that you didn't have, and you're going to have to rebalance that, you know. And I think in the previous cycle it was just too hard, you know. I think that somebody thought, you know, people, these masculines, they thought that the feminine had attitude, and the thing about it is that he just wasn't willing to bring it into temperance with her. And so he said she has an attitude. She's like, you know, I'd really appreciate it if you, what? I don't know. Stop being such a jerk. Don't try to tell me I'm boiling hot dogs the wrong way, you know? I mean, stupid stuff, you know, whatever. But he didn't want to compromise. He didn't want to communicate. He did not want to work with and bring temperance to this holy union. And so therefore he threw half of it into the trash, and he let this person eat the apple. He let Jezebel eat the apple. And Jezebel was not equipped to handle that energy, that essence. That's why she wasn't presented as the match. You know, they have plaques on the wall, these PhD certificates, you know, I'm so smart and qualified, you know, but this kind of stuff, they just don't think about it. Common sense, integrity, loyalty, you know, ethics, morality. They just like threw it out the window. And I think it's because of this interdimensional non-human species that, you know, spoke to the phallus, worship the phallus. You can accomplish all things with the phallus. It's a weapon of war. And God's here saying, excuse me? Excuse me? Did you just take you in the image of me and use that thing as a weapon of war against the mother? While you stole all her stuff? Put knives in her and stuff? What the hell? Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble. And Divine Feminine has got a front row seat. She's here just waiting to see what happens, you know. Because we've been burned many, many times. But apparently this is the last lifetime story for the Earth Woman. This is done. They won't be putting us through another one of these cycles. They're the new fodder. I keep saying this boldly because, you know, I've been led to tell the story, and I'm only here by the grace of God. Because of what he put inside of me and because of what I made effort to grow. That's it. It's not because some man helped me. I was alone. I had nobody to talk to. They all said that it was all in my head. It was crazy. This isn't happening. It's not happening. It's not real. And that's why they don't want people here telling stories like this, because it pops out, it comes out, and you can see it, and it's like you can tell your sister, oh my God, back off, no, don't, or your brother, whoever, you know, somebody that you love, that you care about. You don't want them to get trapped like this, because you know that the future of their family tree depends on authenticity, transparency, truth, and sincerity when it comes to loving and wanting to have a union, you know? So we got secrets. The secret is affairs. Page of Swords. So Page of Swords, they're trying to find new ways of communicating. He's like, oh no, I've been an F-boy my whole life. I've been presenting myself as a false flame. This little Page of Swords has been presenting himself as a false flame, and this is his secret. It's all about the affairs. He goes and he has affairs with married women, perhaps. Or he presents himself as a false flame, gets a contract, and then he goes out and has an affair. And the thing about that affair thing, that's what I was talking about with the energy. So, the CEO that has, you know, an office, a workplace affair or whatever. The thing about that is that every time, you know, they say, you know, you sleep with them, you sleep with everybody they're sleeping with. Now, the thing about that is true. And it's not just the physicality of it, it's energetically. So say that you've been celibate for 5-10 years, okay? And you decide to go be intimate with somebody. If that person has been active at all, and they usually are, say they've had 5 partners for the year, 3 partners for the year, even 2, okay? It's a year. So, and say that that's been going on for every 10 years, that this whole 10 years that you've been celibate, this person's been sleeping with 1 or 2 or 3 every year. And they've been collecting that energy and all of that karmic debt and all of that nastiness, or those evil intents, or those attachments, those attachments, you know. So they're taking all that in. And if they have pure energy, you know, and they're just vibrant, then all of a sudden they're full as shit. It's all about managing oneself well and not getting involved with this, because if you have 50 people's sexual energy in your energetic field and you've only slept with one person, then you're gonna, the energy is gonna look prostituted. It just is. It's just gonna look like it, no matter how many times you cleanse, because you just took it all in, you know. And it's sad. It's so sad that people kind of threw away their own value. You know, and they run around and call people, they're so mean, cold fish, you can't get laid for nothing, you know, ugly, fat, whatever. You know, and they always attack the potentiality of gaining somebody interested in wanting to have sex with them. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's like, you know, I mean, people who are celibate, their lives are so rich. And none of it comes from that. Cool down, you're going too fast. So their challenges, they're in scarcity right now. They got a social mask. They have a persona to upkeep. They got to present themselves a certain way because they're a certain person, and the role has to look like this, right? So they're in trouble. They got to have money. They got to go get it, but you don't miss them. You're cooling it down. You're like, you know what? I'm just going to take a pause. I'm not really going to get involved in that. I see your social mask. I don't really want to play that game. I'm just going to go home and hang out with my cat or whatever, you know? But they're looking at your love cup there. This third party affair, these third parties, a secret thing that's stalking you. Yeah, they're looking at your Ace of Cups. You got a whole bunch of love and they want to be covered by it because right now they're looking like a filthy trash pit. They're overloaded. They need you to save their life. They're trying to shred the history of what they have been. They need a sacrifice. They need to bind you. We got transformation, change, independent. So you've been newborn or reborn. You've evolved. You're independent. You've done it all yourself. They say you're in masculine energy. No, you're just very independent, very capable. You don't need anybody. And by now you probably don't want anybody because it's all this kind of low vibrational chaos crap from people that can't manage themselves well at all. They're out there trying to manage everybody else in the world from a point of chaos and really low vibrational thought patterns about themselves and others. So you're fiercely independent and you've been transformed. There's a change here. So it was a fairy tale. It's just a fairy tale. He sees. So yeah, they want you though. They want you. This karmic wants you. This a secret. They want you to sacrifice you so freaking bad. Look at her. She wants it bad. They want to appear as though they are you. God damn it. These people want to appear as you. You who have done all the work, who have purified, who have walked that freaking nasty, impossible path that these jackwagons put you on. They thought for sure you were never going to come out of that, and you did. And now they want to put you back. They want to look like you, be like you. She wants to download your soul value into herself and then say, I'm that. But she doesn't have the inner fortitude or the inner resilience or any of that stuff to manage what you are. If she were to wear it, all she could do is be arrogant. That's it. A phony trickster thief. So the moon is in the reverse here. What was hidden is now seen. The gossip, the gossip. The girls have been gossip. Unfounded allegations. They were trying to damage the reputation of this person, perhaps causing or saying that she was drinking and a toxic lifestyle. They may have been out there wearing her face, doing that stuff, trying to create the illusion that it was her. They're being let go. They're being let go because they were telling lies. It was all freaking lies. And it looks to me like your twin flame is coming to pick you up. It's like, this is crap. What was happening here is just unbelievable crap. They're still stalking you. Oh, this karmic wants to sacrifice you bad. And they're talking about it. They're really wanting to go for it. I'm just waiting to see what God does with it. And your person's mother, your person's mother is gonna rip this chick up, man. Because she happens to like you as a daughter-in-law. She wants you in her family. Business is finished. Business is finished. It's all done. It's over. There's no baggage. There's no more going back and forth. It is over. Business is finished. You and your person are together. Just us. It's just, you finally came together. It was all lies. You finally came together. And this business of this baggage coming back and forth, it's over. You know, these people, they were going into the shadows there, doing their sacrifices, and then coming back into the light, pretending that they were innocent and pure. And it simply wasn't true. So you're letting go of that baggage. No more back and forth. It's done. No more karmic wearing your energy, tricking your person, drinking a toxic lifestyle, being a floozy. That's not you. You're fiercely into freaking pendant. You're out here on your own. Apparently you like a solitary life. And these people have been out there, you know, humping the whole freaking world, wearing your face, trying to sacrifice you. They wanted to keep you and your person apart, but he's coming for you. We've got the Hierophant here, condemning people. We've got separation, secluded. They could be condemning people for leaving you alone, for abandoning you. You're out here independent, whole, and free. Yeah. The sun is going down on this scenario. The Hierophant, Most High God, is condemning these people for leaving you alone, for abandoning you, for leaving you alone. The sun is going down on that person. Night falls. So the Knight of Cups is no longer able to peep on the Divine Feminine. No more peeping toms, no more stalking you. You know how when you're in your house and you feel like somebody's watching you, or, you know, whatever? Yeah, these invisible guys, these astral projectionists, these warlocks or whatever, they're the freaking vampiric villains, man. Freaking opening your cupboard or whatever. Seeing how you'll respond. Okay. Well, what is this? So this is, we got this. And I don't know where it went, so I'm just going to put it back in there because I don't know how long ago it flipped over. Divine intervention. Divine intervention. So you got the Knight of Cups, those who are on the prowl for their target, stalking them in their house while they're running around in their underwear, crying or sleeping or smoking or eating or doing dishes or not doing dishes or whatever. Flushing the toilet, not flushing the toilet, whatever. These guys were scoping it out, and then they were coming in and trying to hook up with a twin, with a divine woman. So they're no longer able to do that on Divine Feminine, and this is divine intervention. We've got serendipity here. You came out of it. You came out of it and exposed everything as a lie. You are so far away from what these people are and what they said you were. This is what they were doing, wearing your face and your energy. And this is who you are. They really went there. They really went there. So there's charity here for those who did not try to trap somebody's heart. Those who did not try to trap somebody in a false flame union. There will be no more backstabbing. There's charity here for those who did not backstab anybody. Those who weren't deceptive. Those who didn't play mind games. Those who didn't get into the love bombing, gaslighting, trap you, take your stuff. You didn't play that game. So you're getting a reward. You're getting charity and a commitment, because you are committed. You're committed to love. You're a loyal person. You say what you mean what you say, and you do what you say you're going to do. No more backstabbing. Your heart is not in a trap. We got the Ace of Wands. So new opportunities are coming for you, because these people were gaining contracts with you and then abandoning you. So now you're turning your back on them. Because, so you've cheated over. You're turning your back on them. You remember what they did to you. Over and over again, you're turning your back. And it could be that that's what they've done to you. Abandoned you, turned their back on you. You could be thinking about this a lot. Maybe you've solved the puzzle about what is happening with this abandonment issue. Because there was a lot of false stories going on out there about how Divine Feminine wasn't a good wife, that she wasn't able to keep a man happy, that she wasn't able to keep a household well. They painted her as a floozy, as a prostitute, and they were tampering so freaking hard. Professional sorcerers. And their copycat toxic karmics. So we've got the Page of Wands here. We've got a excitement and freedom for the lovers. You're here, the power of two together. We've got those who were worshiping money cannot hide what they did in the past. They can't undo it. It is what it is. They're being rejected from this new beginning because they did not have any feelings whatsoever for family. And it could be that your family, God, and all of those, that your twin flame, that's your true person is here seeing the lies, and this is it. This is over. You're going to come together soon. You're going to be coming together soon. You're right here. We got Page. You're leaving behind all this stuff because they didn't care about family. You're going to meet somebody by chance. It's going to be love at first sight. Communication records. The communication records say that you're ascending, and your animal friends are going too. The dolphins, the ferrets, the birds, the fish, all of them. All your animal friends, all your pets are going with you. You've got a sixth sense about the shadow now. All of this density, everything that you've been trapped in and stewing in and being hurt by, it's all been imbued into you. You've all alchemized it and made it a part of you. This energy that they tried to drown you in is yours. See, because rather than fall into the shadow and become karmic, you decided to become greater light. You decided to transform. You were being tricked by these phony false flames. So now we got divine timing and the crown. What is that? The 144. You're all getting your crown, like your crown. And it doesn't necessarily mean like king and queen, although it could. Maybe you're gonna get knighted and crowned and do it all that. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. But to me, it means your communications device. It could be that it came on at just the right time, and that your prayers shot out to the limit, to the edges of the limitless multiverse, and your person heard you. I mean, you know, take it as it resonates. Yeah, they gambled. They gambled. They did the taboo. They did the forbidden, these nasty people here, and they bound you. They bound you. But God went looking for you. And now these people are going to get eternal regret for what they did to you. You're getting a new beginning, because you have revealed the hidden truth about why all these beautiful roses were being used as street exhibits. There's evidence. You know, your cameras are, your eyes are cameras for the divine. Your eyes are cameras for God. There's evidence. Everything you saw, all of the mystery that had been hidden behind illusion. And now people are running away. They're running away. I'm just waiting. I'm like, well, God, I'm, I don't know what's going to happen. I know that we got a whole lot of nasty jacks out here, and they're saying a whole lot of mean things, about what they want to do. I know the first thing I'm going to do to her, and I'm like, whoa, that's just nasty, So I'm like, oh my gosh, but what are you going to do? You got to get a message, because you got these folks out there that are desperate to latch onto you, to marry into your bloodline, and they're not worthy. They want to tap into your new chapter, your new chapter. They want to tap into your new chapter of stability, because they're in lack. And they have a social persona to keep up. They need money. But this is a third party. They got their woman is sitting right there waiting for the transfer. She's waiting there with her knife, man, licking it and everything. Don't go in any parties. At least I wouldn't. If you're going to go to a party, don't get drunk, or, watch your environment really well, because you got some desperation happening here at the end of this season. I don't know that God would ever allow them to do a thing to you, but, we got people slipping Mickeys and doing all that crazy stuff, so just be careful. Ego. Prideful people, the secret third party mistress, affairs. There's a page of swords presenting as a false flame. They're in scarcity right now. They got a social mask on. They could be in society with a mask, trying to hide. We've got I miss you in the reverse. You don't miss them. It's calm. There's a calm pause. You're cooling down. You've escaped. So you've escaped. They're like, oh no, damn it. You've escaped. There's that big old cup of love for this powerful, independent woman. And you got somebody there, a page of swords, wanting to come in and present themselves as a twin flame. values. You don't have the same values. They're not you. They're not anything like you. They are at the complete opposite of the spectrum. I mean, your roots go dark and your branches go high, but you don't have the malice that these ones have inside. So the moon card is in the reverse. What was hidden is no longer hidden. The fact of the matter is that these women were going out drinking and partying and then creating false scenarios with your face on it, trying to destroy your reputation, the reputation of this independent woman. They're getting let go. We got absent in the reverse. They're being let go. Because you're not absent, because you're right here. You're right here. Everybody can see you. Your love cup is massive. You're transformed into something else. Powerful light, powerful shadow. They said you're wearing masculine energy. Of course you are. That's what happens when you have to be both and you do it cycle after cycle after cycle. And then you got these masculines coming and harassing you, and you got their feminines, belittling you and calling you every nasty name in the book, bombarding your toroidal field with this nasty energy, binding you, hexing you, cursing you, speaking foul words over you as a group. They were getting together and then speaking words that were not true over you. But you're just too damn powerful. They wouldn't stick. You're like, you know what? Yeah, I'm in this deep pit of shit, and I got a whole big shadow here. That woman, she generated her own horse, and she made it white. And she said, you know what? Come on, horsey, we're going to ride right out of this hellhole is what we're going to do. Transformed. Metamorphosed. Everything they said was a lie. Every party, every picture, every verbiage that they ever penned in your name was a lie. You're not absent. It was all a lies, and your person sees you. They saw you, they found you, and this business is over. This business is over. This over and back, getting messed up with somebody going over to the other side, making a sacrifice, and then appearing as though they were his perfect person. Now, this is over. He's found you. This business is done. It's like, and they say she's got attitude. Why? Because that shadow comes out and slaps somebody up the face when they need it? She's got an attitude. No, you're just scared and you can't manage yourself well in the presence of such a powerful being. They prefer this one who will do exactly as they say and be cruel and bitter about it. They got to stay out of your space. They got to stay out of your space. God's here. God's here, and he's condemning these people because they left you in seclusion, or they got to leave you alone. They're being secluded. They have to leave you in seclusion. They can't touch you. They got to stay out of your space. The sun is going down on them. The sun is setting on them. And they're saying that it's demonic. I know, I'm sorry. God is way up there. And apparently this woman is a soprano. That's why she is this great light. And that's why she can manage this great darkness. Because she is part of this family. So, the Hierophant is here, or the Most High God is here, condemning these people for what they have done. They're being separated out. The sun is setting on these people. They've missed their opportunity. They made mistakes. The Knight of Cups can no longer peeping Tom you. They can no longer peeping Tom you. They can no longer spy on you, stalk you, and then present themselves to you, Divine Feminine, as your match. This false flame. There is divine intervention here. Serendipity. A catalyst for change. They neglected you, everything about you, while taking everything from you, and then saying you were worthless, unworthy. So the Four of Pentacles is here. Generosity is going to those who did not try to trap anybody. Those who did not backstab anybody, lie to anybody, deceive anybody, play mind games with anybody, love bomb and gaslight anybody. Those who are committed to pledging their loyalty to their spouse, to their family, to their purpose, to their future. And the truth is revealed here. So it's obvious who you are. God knows who you are. We've got the Ace of Wands here. With abandonment. So you've got a new opportunity coming to you because they abandoned you. They left you alone while taking everything from you. You're turning your back on them now because you remember what they did to you. You're turning your back on them. They cannot separate you from love. Our love is always there despite the distance. So the Page of Wands is here, excited and free. The lovers are together. The power couples have come together. Maybe not in the 3D, but in the spirit, you definitely are. We've got those who worship money. Cannot change. They cannot cover it up. They've been trying to shred documents about their misdeeds. They're not able to hide that. They're being rejected from this new beginning. And God is about ready to push the button. God's got his finger on that button there. They're being rejected from this new beginning because they have no feelings about family. And it could be that your new family doesn't have any feelings about what you're being separated from. You're about ready to encounter your actual twin flame. After all of this mess, you're about ready to encounter your actual true flame. We've got sabotaged. Sabotage. Somebody wants to sabotage it. Somebody wants to sabotage your encounter. Those who wanted to sabotage you are running away because they've been found guilty and unworthy of this encounter, of these love unions. All right. They're overwhelmed and stressed out by what? Because they disagreed with responsibility and family. This soul tie, you have a soul tie here with your person. You have been reunited. If not yet, you soon will be, and you're going to start your new chapter. The button is about ready to be pushed. Yeah. Those who've been trying to sabotage you are running. They've been exposed. Well, we've been at this a while. I don't know how long, but we've been at this a while. Yeah. So I think that this is pretty clear. I mean, we can see what's happening here. Those who have been playing mind games, using love as a using words of love, intimate encounters, and actual union as a weapon of war against a divine feminine, so that they could get a payout and hang out with their low vibrational Jezebel. Well, it seems to be over. It seems to be over, or it soon will be. There are a lot of things being said in the unseen realms of retaliation, of all kinds of nastiness. They want to get this woman off the planet. But God is right here condemning them. So I am just going to wait to see what happens. As well, I'm sure all of you. All right. Take care, everybody. Tomorrow's Friday. I hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful night. Sleep tight. Sweet dreams. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.